Friends, this project got a little out of control, so please don't be mad at me, but I'm going to split this project into 2 videos. Part 1 is happening right now, and part 2 is coming out in just 2 days. Let's get into it. This video was sponsored by Squarespace. Today's challenge is to make a tiny functioning oven out of clay. And by the end of the video, I'm going to see if it can bake a tiny loaf of bread. I was inspired by this reel that so many of you guys sent me, made by Annie Swirl of Swirl Lady Pottery. It's the perfect project. I had to try it. I'm basing the design of this project off of the beautiful wood fire oven that I have upstairs. I mentioned this oven in another video, and I got loads of questions about it, so let me explain. This is a wooden oven for heating. We don't bake in it. It's called a Kachelofen in German. It functions basically the same way as a wood fire stove would in the States. Like, it's for heating, it's not for cooking. It's beautiful. I love it. I wish we owned this house so I could keep it forever, but it's not a super uncommon thing in like older homes in Germany. You even see them in old apartments in Berlin. I think in the olden times they were used mostly with coal, but you can also use them with wood, which is really helpful for keeping our apartment warm in the winter, and it's just like so cozy. I love it. So I was trying to figure out how the heck I'm going to create this beautiful 3-dimensional texture. The thing about slabs is that they're flat. So I thought I would make a stamp, and I decided to use my most favorite tool in the world, my new laser cutter. And I made this really cool stamp. I was originally gonna add another circle to it, but I decided 2 was enough. So I'm gonna push this whole thing into the stamp. The square part is going to make it the shape of the tile. And then I'm gonna leave a little bit of a gap so we can carve out the grout lines later. I'm trying to figure out if that's the right thing to do. The one thing that I do wanna do to make this ultra realistic is actually use grout on the tiles. Like, the tiles aren't going to be loose tiles, they're already going to be together because it's a slab, like it's all one. But if I carve out those lines, I can still add grout in. I don't see why it wouldn't work. But let's see if my stamp even works, because I am a little worried by how deep it is. Each one of these layers is 3 millimeters, so 9 millimeters. And I rolled out 1 centimeter slabs, AKA 10 millimeters. So hopefully I can get the whole stamp in, because I really need to get this outline shape. I wonder if these are too sharp. I think I'm gonna quickly sand this. I don't want these edges to be too sharp, because otherwise it's probably gonna like break the clay, won't it? Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm gonna stamp first and then assemble. This is my plan. Let's see. Let's see if it works. So for the long side, we are doing 6 bricks / stamps by 4 bricks. Okay. Normally I would cut them when they're more leather hard, but I need to stamp them. So I'm gonna cut them now. My cuts might end up being a little messy. Oh my God, this ruler is falling apart. Oh, that's not cool. Okay. Yeah, this is really gonna distort the clay, because I'm sticking it so deep. I guess that's fine. As long as I keep my rows straight, I can cut the edges. Ooh. I feel like that looks really cool. Kind of in disbelief right now. Wow, that worked really well. I am suddenly worried about the grog content of my clay. We have only 20% of 0 to 0.2 millimeters of grog, which is very like fine clay. This is ideally clay that's really meant for throwing. This is a lot of pressure we're putting on the clay right now, which you would want some grog for this, but let's just keep going. I don't have any clay with more grog in it, so we're gonna keep moving and pray for victory. I feel like this looks really freaking cool. Okay, how wide are we making these? We're making them about 1/2 centimeter wide. Okay, I'm gonna eyeball it though. I should have started in the middle of the slab to give myself some more wiggle room around the edges. This can be like the back side of the piece. God, I need to put my whole body weight in this. Okay, status is this. So, I mean, I think it looks so cool. The stability of the slab is still a big question mark though. I mean, we're not gonna find out until it's actually fired if this is gonna be too much stress on the clay, but I feel like I need to wait until tomorrow to like pick it up, manipulate it, check it out, and see if this is too thin. This might be too thin. We might have pressed the clay too much, but I can't pick it up and manipulate it now to check. So I'm gonna go through these and then we can check them tomorrow. And then worst case scenario, I need to remake this stamp with thinner boards because I was using a scrap piece of wood. If you saw my circle guides video, this is the same material that I was using for that. It's possible that I need a thinner board. Let's get through this and we shall see tomorrow. Let's take a little break to talk about today's sponsor, Squarespace. If you've never heard about Squarespace before, they are an all-in-one website platform that artists and entrepreneurs use to stand out and succeed online. I've been using Squarespace ever since I started my online business because it has incredibly easy to use features, including their drag and drop website builder and integrated SEO tools. Whether you're just starting out or managing a thriving brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website to sell anything from physical products to memberships, digital products, and even services. You can also schedule appointments, create on-brand invoices, and send newsletters. And for the artists watching, I know you will love their cutting-edge design tools, where you can create a bespoke website that perfectly fits your brand or business. So head to squarespace.com right now for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/potterytothepeople for 10% off your very first website or domain. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, all of my stamps are now stamped. They're looking a little wonky. If everything lines up perfectly, I don't mind a little bit of wonk. I think it actually looks really cool, like handmade. But if it doesn't line up, that can be a problem because we're trying to make a cube, basically, and all the sides need to be the same length. Otherwise, it's gonna be more of a rhombus shape, not a cube. We shall see. I think they look so cool. Just a little bit worried about the like structural integrity of it all. As I was making this, I was thinking like, couldn't I make the structure out of clay and then apply tiles to it like normal? It could be like a sprig mold kind of situation. Or it could be like making these things independent from one another and then with mortar and grout. It's an idea. If this project doesn't work, maybe I'll try that. But in the meantime, I'm hopeful that this project works because it is definitely more straightforward. Okay, let's wrap these up. Good morning. So I'm hoping we can assemble today, but we have to check on the status of our slabs because, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Pleasantly surprised with this. Like, I was worried that the deeper part of the stamp was going to be like paper thin because that's how it felt yesterday. You can see it might still crack, but I feel like we can try. I feel like we can work with it. Maybe it'll be okay. Let's check the other ones, huh? I think we're gonna try. Yay, okay, cool. So first things first, we need to cut these to the correct size. Like hopefully the stamping is regular enough so that when I cut them out, they're going to be the same size. We don't want a wonky oven, ideally. Wonder if there was a way to make the stamps more regular, like if I was able to put a grid of some kind down. See, this is not very straight. The issue is that the stamps like distorted the clay so much. I think the problem is that they were so deep that it like really distorted it. I'm not sure. This is what I'm talking about. This little guy in the end is getting his top cut off a little bit, whereas this one has a big gap between the stamp. It's probably fine. I'm probably just being really particular right now, but I don't know how I would avoid that with this stamping situation. I don't know. All of my walls are now cut. It's going to have 2 layers. I'm going to have like another little boop boop on the top. Here you can see my sketch. So there's the main body, and then there's a little boop boop on the top, just like a smaller cube. So let's assemble. Oh, that was the wrong side. We need to glue this guy back down. I just removed a little sliver and that is the wrong side. We need to glue him back down. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. So set this guy aside for now. It is this side we need to cut. Okay. The slabs are warping a little bit from the stampage. Hopefully, like by assembling it, it's going to kind of reinforce itself. I was imagining the dimensions so completely different in my head, but okay. We will reinforce these with coils, don't worry. He's a thin boy. Like, I think I was imagining him being wider. We're gonna put the part where I messed up on the bottom. So hopefully no one sees it. Wait, y'all. I'm making a mistake right now. I need to put the shelf in now because otherwise I won't be able to get in. I need to do that. I can use this guy, I can line him up though, so at least we know where we're at. Oh no. That's really broken. I have this extra piece here. Maybe I could cut him out, fix him. Oh my gosh. I thought I had this whole project planned out and now everything is going wrong. That's the only thing I can think to do, but I'm gonna need to let it dry then. I mean, it's just one piece that got damaged, like one tile. It's either that or I make a new one and then delay this whole project today, which I don't wanna do. Gosh, making tiles is so much easier than making fake tiles. Why do I do this to myself? Did we just fix that? I actually cannot. I mean, it easily might crack, but like, I'm impressed. I'm speechless. I'm gonna let this sit now, and I need to figure out how I'm going to put in the shelves because we're gonna make a little spot for the candle, the little tea light candle, and then we're going to make a little spot for the bread to sit on. So we need kind of 2 thingies. So how am I doing this? It's a little bit on the dry side. Nicht ideal. So I made the inner slabs thinner. It's a good thing because this is going to add more structure, but we just gotta pray that it's actually gonna stick. Man, taking a lot of risks with this one. One thing I'm realizing is I did not think about how the air is gonna get out. Do we just like sneak it in the back somewhere, or do we make that a feature? I don't know. I got the shelf in, so now I'm just gonna spend some time reinforcing all of these seams, and then hopefully we can attach the final wall. Yes, that's what we should do, right? And then we attach the bottom and the top, and then we cut out the doors. Maybe we should cut out the doors before we attach the bottom and the top. Regardless, we work on the seams first. I'm feeling surprisingly good about this. Like, shockingly, it feels actually really solid. Having this little shelf in the middle does definitely help a lot. Yeah. Now, okay, I'm going to assemble the top and the bottom, and then we can move on to the second layer because this is just one layer so far, but the second layer should be easier. But before I do that, I think I need to cut the holes out where we're gonna put the doors. So I am going to be tackling hinges in this video. I'm kicking myself because I still haven't gotten thinner nichrome wire. This is the same old nichrome wire that I've been using. I've been complaining about it, that it's too thick. We're gonna see if this works, otherwise I'm going to order some, but I do think I need to cut out the holes for the doors now, and then we're gonna make the doors with some more 1/2 centimeter slab. So I'm gonna put one little door up here on this row for the bread, and then we're gonna put one door down here, and that's going to be to feed it with a tea light candle, a little piece of log, something like that. So let us cut our holes. I am nervous about this because it's like something you can't go back on. We're going for it. Not bad. I mean, we could even just leave it like that. It looks like a fireplace right now, which is kind of cool. I don't know if this one is gonna be weird because I'm gonna like half the tiles, but I don't know how else to do it. Maybe I should have made this wall 3 tiles thick. I think I would have liked the proportions better too if I had done that, but it is what it is. Actually, in the actual oven upstairs, there are some half tiles, so we can feel okay about this. It's gonna be fine. Look at that. I think I measured well. It's nice and flat. It's in the perfect spot. As if I had planned it. I mean, I did. How do we feel about our half tiles? I feel okay about them. This tile pattern is so cool, let's be honest. I'm gonna add holes here so the heat can come up through and actually heat this chamber. What do we think? If you look closely, you can see it's not perfect. It's far from perfect. But I feel like once you take a step back, it's like, I don't know, something about this tile is really doing something to me. I freaking love it. Okay, we have to still make the top part. It's been a couple hours now, so I hope it's not too dry. It's just gonna be a little guy, just to add a little something, something. I mean, it's what is going on in the oven upstairs as well, so I feel like it's gonna be worth it. And then somehow I need to create an exit. Should I just create a big hole in it, or maybe maybe I'll poke some small holes? First things first, let us assemble. I just realized my next problem that we have to deal with. This is the piece of slab that I cut out to be the top of this guy, and he does not fit. He's too short, both ways that you turn it. So I need to piece together this somehow so that it fits. And I don't really know how to do that. I have a few scraps here, but I want to make sure I do it in as few pieces as possible. Okay, it has to be 3 slabs that I'll piece together. It's gonna be fine. We've done this so many times. My slabs are getting really dry. When my clay is way too dry, what I'll do when I'm slipping and scoring is I'll add water to make the slip, and then I'll score again because the first score doesn't get as deep as the second score does, and then you get this really nice deep score, which should help for these, connections. So the structure of our oven is pretty much done. I have to do little bits and bobs like cut out the top here and whatnot. But I've been playing around for a bit with my wire, and I'm trying to figure out how the heck to do these doors. Yeah, the issue, as I mentioned, is that my wire is very thick. It's 1.5 millimeter thick, which is too thick for wire, if you're asking me. It's too thick to make wire evenly coiled, at least at my skill level. So what I decided to do is I'm going to do a very simple hinge. I'm just going to do basically 2 loops, and I'm going to do 2 of them, of course. So one here, so it doesn't rattle around. This is going to be the door, and this is like this kind of mantle that I've added, so I have something to stick in the hinge part. The mantle was not part of the original plan, but then I realized I wouldn't be able to attach the hinge any other way. So I think this is a really positive development. I feel like this is going to work, I think. The tricky thing is I have to wait till the very end to actually insert the hinges, because once it's inserted, we learned from many of my hinge projects in the past is you don't really want to touch it anymore. So I'm going to spend time tomorrow making my doors, making it all pretty and like finished, and then we attach the hinge. I'm worried about putting all of the work in tomorrow and then just like destroying it in the final moment. That's definitely a possibility, but I need to take a break now. I also think it would be a good idea to kind of let this homogenize a little bit more, but I am very happy with how it's looking. And I need to walk away from this project now. So I will see you tomorrow. It is the next day, and I desperately hope that my oven is not overly dried out. I did spray it with some water, so. Okay, what am I doing today? I wrote a little list. Okay, 3 things we need to do today. We need to add doors. We need to add inlet holes so that air can come in, so that it can actually support a fire, and outlet holes. So I need to cut something in the top here. Not sure exactly what yet. I had a big brain moment last night, and I think I'm gonna change something ever so slightly. I am not going to fire this thing with the doors attached. Like this is the door, right? If I fire this thing with the doors attached, I won't be able to glaze the parts where the door are closed. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I do it stupidly, the doors might get fused to the background. I want to be able to glaze the whole thing, because then, I don't know, it will look more beautiful. So what I can do, I'm going to attach the part of the hinge to the door, and then I'm going to poke holes for the other side of the hinge to stick in. We're going to stick them in after the fire with just a little bit of glue. This is the plan. Strangely, it feels a little bit more risky than just sticking it in, although sticking it in now comes with risks. I could break the whole thing. Like, I'm a little bit worried that if I stick it in later, I'm not going to be able to get the actual wire in because the holes will shrink. And that's sort of how this nichrome wire works, is that the clay around it shrinks. So it really kind of locks in that wire. So I need to make the hole just a little bit bigger than the wire itself so that it can shrink and then I can still stick it in. So let's make some doors. I did roll out a fresh 1/2 centimeter slab last night as well, so that I could add some detail to the doors. I feel like I need to let it dry a little bit though. Okay, this guy is way too wet still. I wrapped it way too tight. We're going to set this aside and we're gonna work on the other stuff in the meantime. I have a little bit of crackage in this corner. Just gonna stuff some clay in it. That's the universal solution for fixing cracks, isn't it? Do the other side just so that they're symmetrical. Okay, as I was tidying things up, I've changed my mind once again. I'm gonna put an outlet on the top here, but I was trying to figure out how the heck to put an inlet because there's no like obvious place to do. So I thought the obvious solution was to put like, just drill little circular holes in the middle of the tiles, but I don't like the look of that. I don't like the idea of that. And then the other idea was to actually raise this up and put some slats on the bottom here. And I like that idea better, but I think I'm actually not going to put an inlet because enough air should be able to come through the door here. I'm going to pierce the door somehow. I'm not sure exactly how. So that should be enough, right? I'm thinking about just putting like a long, thin, sort of mimicking this rectangular shape. I'm a little bit worried about making it too big though, because this thing needs to trap the heat, right? For this thing to work. I'm just gonna keep it on the small side, I think. It's door time. I need to have more ribs in my life because I'm always looking for them. And I always lose them, even though I was just using it 2 seconds ago. You know what this project is making me think of is rocket stoves. I completely forgot about the existence of rocket stoves, and this reminded me of them, and I really want to make a rocket stove this summer. That would be so cool. And it's like I feel like it's really an easy project. So maybe a rocket stove for the garden would be a cool one. Found it. Doors. Hopefully they're the right size. I'm gonna poke the hinges in first so that any detail work won't get messed up when I poke the hinges in later. So just a little loop, that's what we're doing. So the trick is to push this in without destroying my slab. So it'd be a lot easier if this wire was thinner. Like it's not perfectly straight. Like I'm trying to avoid these lines that you can see here. I don't know if that's going to work. Putting the clay under a lot of stress in this project, that's for sure. Doors. This is just one of the doors. Like I keep forgetting that I have to do this all again on a different door. Maybe this will be the practice one. Ta-da! So I think I'm just gonna cut like a nice little design in it, and it's gonna mimic these squares because we're gonna be contrasting the circles with the squares. But of course I need to avoid cutting out maybe just like one little slit would be nice and simple. So mimic this. Let me see. I've been getting a whole lot of stick to pottery lately when I'm talking about politics on Instagram. That's really the only place I talk about politics online because, well, it's more of a conversation than YouTube. But I just want to say that I'm not going to. I'm not going to stick to pottery for a couple of reasons. One is that I personally see it as like artists are the first line of defense against the evils of the world, whatever that may be. Artists make you feel things. Artists, you know, it's kind of our duty. It's always been artists' duty to talk politics. It's always been, art is political. It always has been. And to me, it's a very important part about art. Secondly, I mean, there's a lot going on in the world, but mostly I'm thinking about conversation around immigration, which is not just happening in the US, it's happening all over the world. It's happening hugely here in Germany. And I just want to remind all y'all that I'm an immigrant. And so when you come for my people, you're coming for me. And if you're following my channel and also hating on immigrants, I kindly request you to unfollow me because I am an immigrant. I know I might not be the kind of person that you think of when you think about immigrants, but I am. And when you advocate for anti-immigrant sentiment, when you advocate for tighter immigration laws, when you say that people should stay in the country that they grew up in, when you say that, you know, people shouldn't have the right to immigrate, you're talking about me and taking away my rights. So that's when it becomes not just political anymore, it becomes personal. Like, I think that people just forget they're like the stuff that we learned in kindergarten, you know, the stuff that we learned when we were children, that everyone is equal. Every human has the same depth and inner world that you have. Everyone just wants like dignity and to live a good life for them and their family. I mean, there's so many things to say on this topic, but the kind of dehumanization that I'm seeing is really crazy. It's stuff I never expected to see. And yeah, I'm not going to stop talking about the things that are important to me, even if this is mostly a pottery channel, because it's my life. So that's all I have to say about that. I am really digging my doors, I gotta say. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add a little wire handle as well. I think that will look really cool. Is it stupid to put holes in the door part that's going to be housing the thing that I want to get hot, aka the bread? Yes. Yes, it is stupid. We're not putting holes in this one, but we will put handles. Although I want to put holes because it's going to be cute. Suppose I could... No. No, we're not doing holes. You cannot tell me these doors are not precious. They are precious. Ah, I love them. Okay, I need to add the holes for them now, and I am nervous about this. So I think I'm gonna prepare the wire as if I was going to put it in, fire the wire with it so it also gets oxidized with all the rest of the wire and it matches, and theoretically I can just poke it in. Theoretically. they're so cute. Wouldn't it be cool to have like a glass panel behind these? Just saying. Just saying. All right, friends, that is it for this part of the project. The next part will be coming out in 2 days, so you won't have to wait long. I really appreciate your patience, and I'll see you then.